topic where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher, and we do not have Greg today, and that's because he's in Wyoming, I think. But I do have a very special guest, and it's my mom.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
My name is Chris Pritz. Or Christiane Pritz.
Yeah, so she's always been Chris, and for some reason, she started at this company, and all of a sudden was Christiane, and then everyone knew her as Christiane.
Well, they asked me what I wanted to go by, Chris or Christiane, and I just, I thought about it a moment. I thought, Christiane, because I'd never been called Christiane my whole entire life. It was kind of interesting and to kind of get used to people calling me that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right, so I wanted to have you on, A, because Greg's not here.
Yeah.
And B, because I know that I don't know if I would say you've wanted to be on the show, but I know that you've said I know you listen to the show and that you listen to it and you like talk to the podcast while you're listening to it.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, like if you're talking about like old things and
Oh, and I misremember stuff.
yes, you'll misremember, or you guys will try to remember like a old commercial that I know right off the top of my head, and I have to start telling it to the radio to my phone because you're not there for me to tell, and you recorded it several days before, and so yeah, I always want to tell you the things that I notice, and sometimes I do email you.
You do?
I have sent you a few emails on things that you guys like couldn't figure out.
Oh.
But most of the time it's after the fact and I don't think you really remember. So it's usually
I
pointless.
know that I misremember things.
Yeah. Me too.
And I'm glad that you listen because then you do correct me because
Yeah.
I do want to remember things, but I don't know why.
But then, yeah. So, and I'll even try talking to you about one of them and you don't always remember.
Oh, I never remember what happens on the show.
But you know what? After I've listened to it, I don't remember every show either, but I do. I mean, you don't remember all of them. And I do listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, that's true.
I do.
So, I wanted to talk to you about some of your feelings about listening to a show where your daughter reveals a lot of private thoughts and feelings, but you want to talk about bow ties for some reason.
I do. I just wonder.
So wait,
why?
so this was a topic pitched to me by my mom. Was like, you know what, guys, a topic you could do is bow ties. I was like, bow ties? And so
bow
like,
ties.
I don't understand. I don't understand why that's a topic.
What?
Go ahead.
What makes a man decide to wear bow ties? Why? Or is it like a certain type of guy that wears bow ties? You even see little kids, little boys in bow ties. But
that makes more sense because it is like little kids wearing a bow tie makes more sense to me than an adult man.
But right, so I'm a grown man and I go to work with a bow tie every single day. I wear my bow tie every day. Is it just like certain kind of guys, or are they all, Libras or something like that? I don't know. Just what makes a man decide to wear a bow tie? And I'm just curious if the people who do wear the bow ties, do they have similar feelings or thoughts about it? And I just think it would be really interesting to know. Why do you wear a bow tie?
It might be interesting to know why, but to bring it up as a topic, we would need to know why.
Right. So we'd have to, I really have to do a study because I need to talk to people.
When you do that study, you can come back on. I do think it's odd. I feel like at some point somebody has to decide, like, I'm going to be the bow tie guy.
Right. Why?
To be different and to like be a little peacock or something. I don't know.
And there's not even like a lot of guys I can ask. I mean, I know like in my office, there was only one guy one time and he didn't work there anymore. So
they probably ousted him because he was wearing a bow tie.
Well, I kind of think they should. But like even little kids, you see them with.
But that makes more sense. That's like a little kid thing. Little kids wearing a tie seems stranger.
So I'm wondering is the parent. So maybe we need to know what type of parent is going to put their kid in a bow tie. Then the kid grows up, and has worn bow ties his whole life. So that's what he's more comfortable with. So the people I need to talk to are the parents of the bow tie wearers.
People aren't wearing bow ties as adults because they were always put in bow ties. You
Well,
put little kids in bow ties.
yeah, but don't you like things that, something we did traditionally that now you like to do, because you grew up with it?
Yeah, but uh yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's the same thing. It doesn't hold the same value. To me, putting a little kid in a bow tie is what you do to dress them up. They wear a little bow tie. Like if
Oh,
they're going to a wedding, you
uh-huh.
don't put them in a tie. That would be super weird,
All right. So then as an
which I think is
adult,
kind of cool. Like I think the cooler thing to do actually would be put your little kid in a like a tie, like a hanging tie.
yeah. Well,
But
I have
I think that people are just deciding to be a little different. Like I'm the bow tie guy and that sets me apart from others.
maybe it's like the people who, like, well, now so many people are tattooed and have piercings, but I think there was a time that, sometimes you did things that were different from everybody else because you really craved the attention. So you were
Well,
an
I think with
attention seeker.
tattoos and piercings have a lot to do with like a subculture or did have to do with a subculture.
Yeah.
And so you were sort of telling people like I'm not a square.
Yeah, that's true.
I
I'm
feel like
trying
a
to
bow tie honestly is just like gluing a feather to a bird, like to the top of its head and the bird is very proud of it and the bird goes around and tries to get more female dates because of the fancy feather on his head.
see. I don't know. I think there's just some, like, a
And I don't mean
a
directly as an
chromosome
analogy
issue.
like women.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that to attract women. I think it's just to like gain something social.
Right, but to be noticed, because
Yeah.
maybe they don't feel like they get enough attention, or maybe they feel, I mean, I have a sister, Bev, who she always feels like she's invisible, so maybe they feel invisible.
Oh,
Yeah, she
damn.
does. Yeah,
Oh, I meant about people that feel invisible. It's sad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And Bev is a middle child, so you know.
It's hard to be a middle child of 8.
Well, but if
It's like how many middle children are there?
you go
6?
with the theory of birth order rather than the actual order of your birth, because I got to have the
Wait, I don't
baby
understand the
status.
difference.
I got to have the baby status because my brothers weren't born till 4 years after me. So I was the baby for 4 years, so I was
Oh,
still considered the baby. A baby. So I got baby status. And I'm telling you, my sisters just looked after me my whole entire life.
yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, if they made me turkeys Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving after
Oh, do you mean as an
Thanksgiving.
adult?
Yeah, yeah, even as an adult, they took care of me all the time. Yeah, I think March even still takes care of me.
Well, I think too that makes sense, because I think, when it comes to hosting a holiday, I think it doesn't come as naturally for you.
No.
So maybe that baby status, just like your bow tie theory, like has carried on. It's like, well, I don't know how to do it.
Well, I don't know. I guess because it's me who's not having to make the turkeys. I've always felt like it was because everybody just always invited me over.
Well, it's probably because like, well, it's our responsibility
And
because
I never invited them over. The only time I ever had people over for Thanksgiving was the Thanksgiving that you helped me host.
right. And then like when I was like, oh no, we need way more stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was not
Because you
even
were the baby.
right. Exactly. I didn't have
Yeah,
the
you didn't know.
I didn't have
I don't think they consciously thought like, "Oh, I have to take care of Chris, the 40-year-old little sister, this Thanksgiving because she doesn't know how." I think it's mostly just like, "Well, it's just my responsibility. I'm the older it's just what you do."
yeah. And I don't know. To me, it felt like it was kind of like the bow tie. The mom puts the bow tie on the little boy. He's used to having bow ties on all the time, so he gets to be an adult and he wears a bow tie. And I think
What
with
I'm
my
saying though,
sisters,
I get what you're saying,
with
but
my
I don't think yeah, go ahead.
sisters, they were used to treating me like the baby,
Taking care of you.
Right. And so they took care of me. And so it's just the natural way that they handle me.
Yes,
Yeah. Like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think the bow tie thing is not right still.
Well, it's
Because
either
nobody's putting that no adult who's wearing a bow tie has worn bow ties their entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like
how do you know?
because you don't put little kids in bow ties every single day.
No, you don't put kids in bow
It's like a
ties.
wedding or it's like
Right.
church or a special occasion, Easter.
So then, but still, maybe it's the parents I need to talk to.
Okay.
Mom,
Well, listen, do your study.
why did you put Junior in a bow tie? How am I ever going to find out? I mean, how can I do a study where, I'm retired and I'm sitting in my
You
basement
can't. You
kicking
can't.
rocks all day and
You can put
not.
a Facebook poll.
Oh, you think I could?
Joking. I mean, yes, you could, but
I don't know. I just think it's a funny thing. Maybe I will do that.
okay.
All right. And then you can have me on the show again when Greg
Okay.
goes out of town and we can discuss the bow ties.
It'll be the best
Finally.
day of my life.
Hey, and I'm getting my bow tie story in because I have been curious about it like for a year now, right? Or maybe longer.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Yeah.
wanting to do it. Yeah. Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, oh yeah, okay, mom, yeah.
When
Okay,
I
mom."
thought when I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good. I
Ugh,
was,
and then you bring it to me and I just murder your dreams. Like
yeah,
that's I don't get it.
you did. I was heartbroken.
All right, so when you do that study, when you complete it, when you ask 100 parents about putting their kids in bow ties and research the trauma that occurred or that put on a bunch of adult men who now wear bow ties as a way to not feel invisible, then you can come back on the show. Hello? I
Oh,
can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm here. I keep hitting the mute button. I
Oh my
apologize.
god.
I moved my hand. It's not near the
Okay.
mute button anymore. Sorry. I am not a professional
No, that's true. Okay.
broadcaster.
What I really wanted to ask you about was, I don't know, it feels kind of weird to say this about myself, but I feel like I've gone through a lot of changes on this show in, in particular. Like I've revealed a lot on this show,
Well, yeah.
and I know that you listen, and some of the stuff that I've gone through has been like my feelings about you or about my relationship with you, about my childhood and stuff. And I feel like there would be a lot of parents that would be pretty pissed off about stuff like that because a lot of people are, I don't want to say like closed off, but maybe they're just more private and they feel like you're airing dirty laundry. When what I feel like I'm doing is just being honest so that someone else who might feel the same way doesn't feel like they're alone or weird, you know?
Well, excuse me. To me personally, you're not saying anything that I don't already think, and I
Mm.
think part of the reason too is that I've been in therapy before and I'm more aware of stuff and I'm not afraid to face some things and you know some of the things that you speak about where your upbringing or the way you had to relate to me affected you. I am fully aware of that because I know what I went through when you were a kid. And so, it was rough on you. I had terrible anxiety and I was a mess and you had to learn to handle me as a little girl and that could not have been easy.
I really don't think of it as me handling you. It
No?
really, yeah, like, I don't know. It's hard when you think back as to what you remember,
Yeah.
because it all seemed, I didn't feel like worried about you or anything as a kid. I think, and I don't even really remember you being all that anxious.
Ah, lucky
I
you.
think, what's that?
I said lucky you.
Yeah.
Poor dad.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that, I mean, this is what every kid I think goes through, right? Is they look back and they can understand why some things have manifested in certain ways as adults based
Mhm.
on how you grew up.
Mhm.
But when you think about actually the day to day of growing up, it was not difficult or scary. I didn't live in like like, oh no, what's mom doing today? Is she okay? Like an
Oh,
alcoholic or something where
yeah.
you don't know what mood they're going to be in when they come home. It
True.
wasn't anything like that.
No, but it's just the subtle things. Well,
Just subtle. Yeah.
we all screw our kids up,
Mhm.
because we all have personalities and even now they're only just realizing just how much babies know and can figure out. Babies are so freaking smart.
Yeah.
Little infants.
Except they're
That
pretty stupid too.
no, they have a lot of instinctual stuff that's going on with them. There's a
Yeah.
great I haven't watched the whole thing, but there's a good documentary on, I think it's Netflix or Hulu, one of those two. And it's just all about these different things that they're finding out about how babies react to things and how their brain functions. Like it was almost impossible to figure out how to do an MRI on a baby, to get a baby to sit
Oh,
in
right,
that
because you have to
MRI
be really
machine.
still.
So what the mom did was, or the mom was the doctor. She went in the machine with the baby.
Oh, and
And
didn't she, like, breastfeed him or something?
I don't know exactly what she did. I don't remember, but that could have been something that she did. And they discovered that the reactions to things that an adult was having, the baby was having the same reactions. So the
Mhm.
baby was using just as much of their brain as an adult.
I guess an adult's brain is just more sophisticated and has more to, like,
Right.
draw on, I
Right.
guess. Yeah.
But
Interesting.
I mean, some of the stuff is just incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
there was stuff about how, it figured out about how it's on a team and it was a team player. And like they had this guy who was on his team and he had a ball. And then another guy comes in and takes the ball away from the team player. And then the guy who was the bad guy comes out with the ball, and like the baby doesn't want anything to do with that guy. So it's
Well, I mean,
such
that kinda that tracks because if you think about a baby needing to survive, right? Like, it needs to
right.
pick the right people to
But
stick with.
he picked that up right then and there,
Mhm.
you know? It's really cool. I love documentaries.
But, oh, yeah, I like documentaries too.
Yeah. All right.
Um
So, and back to us.
oh,
One
yeah.
one thing, and I've probably told you this a million times, but I always tell you stuff a million times. The thing that I really like the most about listening to your podcasts is getting to know you for real. Like I'm hearing things like fears that you had or insecurities that you might have that I was totally unaware of. I it never occurred to me. All I was seeing was the face that you were projecting to me, but
Yeah.
now I just feel like I know you so well, and you know, it's so interesting. I truly feel like every parent should have their kid on a podcast and just get to hear what's in their hearts and their minds.
I don't think this isn't tooting my own horn. I just think that and I wasn't like this at first either. I wasn't completely honest when we first started doing this show.
Oh,
I think that what you're hearing and maybe if I didn't have a podcast, maybe you would start to experience it, as I started to change, but I think I would I was giving everybody that sort of face,
yeah, you were.
which feels weird to say because I don't just like I was saying about being a kid, like, the day-to-day stuff never seemed difficult or, troubling or whatever. Um, when I think back on me, I don't I wasn't walking around, like, lying
No, 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 and you never
or
were. But
pretending to be somebody totally different than who I was. I just wasn't tapping into anything that made me feel uncomfortable about my feelings or my thoughts or whatever.
it's so weird because when we look at other people, because we can't see their minds, and the only place we exist is it really in our own brains. And so you're looking at just what people present, and we all have weird shit going on in our heads while we're
Mhm.
pretending. No, and we're not pretending. This is how I have learned to survive my life, and this is how I'm going to behave. And so that's what I do.
I think what I did was, just go too far with it, because maybe without me realizing it, I didn't let my feelings or thoughts or anything that I felt would be like a problem. I didn't let those come out to the surface as often because you couldn't handle them.
Right.
And then when I didn't really need to do that anymore, I just kept going because it just made life so much easier
Yeah,
because I didn't have to deal with anything that was hard or difficult.
I really do understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this past week, I was talking to my own shrink, about, um, the empathy that I carry around for you,
Mhm.
and, sometimes it overwhelms me,
Yeah.
you know? But I don't want you to be walking around like, "Oh my god, I can't say that because mom's gonna freak out." You know,
Mhm.
we just gotta be the way we gotta be, and, I have to learn to, I have to learn that it excuse me, that you're gonna be okay even though
Yeah.
you're having pain right now. And I well, I can't say no to you, I can't say no to the grandkids, I can't be mean or yell at you all or, because, I can't stand giving you any pain. And so
Yeah.
that is something that I
Or
have to
me
work
feeling
through.
pain from outside sources.
Yeah. But
And
instead
and that taught me that my pain is hurtful or dangerous to someone else.
right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know,
You're trying to
it's
come from a good place, right? You're feeling over empathetic,
yeah,
but what it taught me was something else.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I can't act this way because it's gonna upset my mom.
Right, it's not safe
No,
to
it
feel
wasn't
that way.
safe.
Yeah.
And,
Because
you
if
know
you're the person that needs to be the
eh
the rock, not always, obviously, but, like, in
Yes,
those moments, I need you to be
right,
the stable one and not be there with me because then it's like, "Oh, well, then I need to adjust and be the rock
right.
when I'm the
Yeah,
one that needs to be the goo."
yeah, and
Yeah.
you were too little for that, and then, when I finally got the help I needed and got on the medication that I needed that helped me, feel better and be able to really, get through these things, um, had already learned how to handle me,
Well,
and
and
so
and you didn't change completely.
no, no.
No, there were plenty of things I still couldn't bring up to you or,
Yeah, well,
you know
yeah, but I felt bad about it that,
Yeah.
I wanted you to see me as what I was like now, where I was calmer and, the one good thing I do like is though, as much as I don't like feeling your pain or anything, you've always been good about telling me how you feel. And so, well, I guess maybe not all the time,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
have told you how I've felt, and it's been good. It's been
Yeah.
productive and,
Mhm.
as well as you and I could do as 2
Yeah.
people that didn't know how to access those feelings.
And I am not in denial about, you know,
No.
you know, remember I remember I told you once that when you were 30 and in therapy because of all the things that I did to screw you up as a
Mm.
kid, I was sorry.
Well, that's all I needed.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mostly just wanted to let you know that, I'm aware of how my behavior, could have screwed you up. Once I started feeling better, I could kick myself for not going on medication sooner,
Yeah, I
you know?
don't yeah,
Yeah.
for your own sake. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the whatever you were doing or however things were going for you, would
Mhm.
it have been better for me in some ways if you hadn't been like that? Then yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it is my job as the adult person for myself to s- think about the things that may be affecting me negatively and seek to change those things and
Right.
not to blame you. And I feel like there I never felt like I blamed, and it's not just you, obviously,
Right.
it's also dad.
Yeah.
But I never blame that on you guys. It's just, yo, that's just what happened.
Right.
Now I need to do something about it. But
Yeah.
the breaking it apart and talking about it could come off as blame or at least make you feel like it's blame.
I never feel blame.
Yeah.
I don't ever feel like you're blaming me for everything that happened or anything that happened or
Mhm.
anything about the way you feel. I don't ever feel like you're blaming me.
Alright. 'Cause
I
it really
never
is just it's just, like, dissecting it and be like, "Oh, that's where that
right.
goes,
And
maybe."
it helps me too though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because then I mean, I don't think there's hardly anybody that knows their kid as much as I know things about you. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, it's so interesting to me, just to be like, wow, really? You'll say things about how you felt, or like, what was the one you were talking about? Something about getting attention.
Hmm,
Darn, I can't remember it now. Sorry.
that's
But
okay.
but I was just like, "What? I had no idea," because you come off just totally together. Like, totally together.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah.
Am I still pretending?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I just feel like you come off with, like you have a lot of confidence. No one would know.
I mean, I do have some confidence, especially, I think as I've, like, settled into this body of
Mhm.
mine, and about, like, the sort of climate changing around bodies,
Yeah.
which is how I've always felt, but it's hard to live in a world around you where things are sort of expected of
Yeah.
you, and it just feels like, "Yo, I'm this old, I'm this weight, this is my body,
Yeah.
I wanna make it strong." I don't really care as much about how it looks, and also this, like, new sort of path that I've gotten on where
Mhm.
it is more like myself, where it's like, I don't care, what's, not like what's in style. Oh, like what's supposed to be done. Oh, if you're this age or if you're this type or if you're this or that, then you're supposed to be this or that, like,
Right.
I saw an older lady on TikTok who talked about her hair being a little bit of a rebellion because her hair was really long. And she was like, "Yeah, when you turn 70, you're supposed to have short hair and it's supposed to get permed and
Yeah,
you're
that
supposed to wear
well,
certain clothes." She's like, "I'm not
yeah.
gonna do that."
Oh, man. I saw a woman at the hairdresser once, and, now she did go to a hairdresser that did mostly older ladies' hair,
Yeah.
but, I mean, she had on a pair of tight jeans with little decorations on the pocket, and, she had nice shoes on. She obviously had a lot of money, but I mean, she still dressed very youthfully, and she had to be in her 70s.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do your
Yeah,
thing.
she was amazing. Well, what was that lady's name that was in the theater with us? Was it Ruth?
It doesn't
Remember
matter what her name is.
oh, well, she was just, like, unbelievable for her age,
Yeah.
and how she would come out and she would act, and she was loud and she was funny and she was just,
See, if you, like, choose to die, then
yeah.
then you're gonna just shrivel up and die.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Don't stop living,
mm-mm,
you know? And I
mm-mm.
feel like part of that is giving in to certain things like, "Oh, well, I can't wear that anymore because 'cause I'm this age. Oh, I'm 40, I can't wear Oh, I'm 60, I don't do that anymore." It's like, why? If you like, don't do it as like a I guess that comes with being a little bit self-aware too, because don't do it as like a compensation because you're trying to stay young. If you like that though, and you wanna wear it, then do that. Don't
Right.
don't don't give up on if you feel like looking good makes you feel good,
Mhm.
then continue to try and look good.
Yeah.
Don't be like, "Well, I'm 70 and so I've given up."
Well, I stopped doing my hair that, platinum blonde thing.
Yeah.
Because it from in my eyes, when I saw other women who were older who still had that platinum blonde hair, I thought it made them look older.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to put my hair back to a more normal color because I thought it would help me look more youthful. Because I
Well,
think
yeah.
I've seen older women with that white hair, and it just
Well, you never had that white
no,
hair was like,
mine,
gray.
mine was very, very light though. You know, no,
It
and you're
still
right.
was yellowish, you know what I mean? Like, it still had the yellow blonde tint.
Yeah, but now instead of doing like a light blonde, I go to a dark blonde, and I like it,
Mhm.
you know? And I don't have very many gray hairs.
Sweet.
I know, no zippers for me. I am getting more though. I'm finally getting my gray hair.
Well, there's nothing wrong with gray hair.
Oh no,
Yeah,
but I've just been pretty lucky. I'm 65 and I'm only just now getting my gray hair,
yeah.
you
Well,
know?
didn't grandma have dark hair for a while? Like,
She
I
sure
feel like
did.
her hair was
Yeah.
dark.
Grandma had dark hair till she died.
Mhm.
Never was even like salt and pepper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she never colored her hair. So I definitely got that from her. I
Well,
know. Look at Travis. How how old was he when he went
I
gray?
under
He's
the
been
night.
gray forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he started with like a spot on his head
yeah.
and it grew.
And when I look at pictures of him, I like the gray hair better.
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks yeah, well, Travis is pretty good looking and pretty great guy.
I yelled at him this morning.
Uh-oh.
It was
What?
just because he was like stressing out and being ridiculous, and we were walking uh across we were walking on the sidewalk, and we couldn't remember the name of Ellie's teacher, and
Uh,
so he was looking it up on his phone, and of course was like doing it in this roundabout way that to me it feels like just go here and do that.
mhm.
But he was like, I don't know what he was doing. And I also was looking it up, but I was doing two things at once. I was looking at I was doing three. I was holding on to Pete, making sure people weren't getting running in the road. I had my phone in my hand. I was looking, and Travis was in front of me, and he was looking down, and there were a bunch of people behind us too. And he was like going slower,
Uh-huh.
because he was looking at his phone. I was like,
Right.
you gotta. I was like, go. He's like, well, I'm looking up the name. I was like, yeah, but you gotta walk. I did
Yeah.
that.
People behind us.
I know. What the hell? And so I don't know.
Yeah.
It was
That's
funny. I
yeah.
felt like times in the past I would have been, I don't know, more affected by that
Mhm.
sort of outburst from both of us.
Mhm.
And then now, because I'm used to being like a normal human now, that it felt
Mhm.
like it kind of felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to like let it out in the moment.
Do you know what
And then like not hold the grudge later and make him apologize to me about it. And then I'll
Right.
forget, it's like,
Right.
whatever, it's over.
Right. It's out.
Yeah.
It's over. I
Yeah.
understand that. The hardest thing for me to get used to since you've been changing now
Yeah.
are the boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're good for you, and I know it's helping us in the long run, but I really hate boundaries sometimes. But
Like what? Like what boundary?
oh, I don't know the things. I can't think of things that.
Okay.
But I grew up with no boundaries, so I'm not too good at them. I'm trying to get my own boundaries, but I barely have made a dent.
It's
So,
hard. When I make a boundary, I feel like I'm abandoning the person.
oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Like, it feels ultra mean or
Oh,
selfish,
right.
you
And
know?
yeah, but it all depends on does the thing you're doing, what's the reason you're doing it for, and is it causing you harm? If it's hurting you, by giving away a piece of flesh,
Oh, that's what I taught you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do that.
I know you do.
Yes,
I know.
I know. I know. I'm working on it. I got,
So for me, I never would I didn't, give more than I wanted to necessarily,
yeah,
but I would avoid thinking and then setting the boundary, so
right.
I would just avoid those situations.
Yeah,
Instead of like I didn't go the extra mile for people that I didn't really want to do that for. So I
yeah,
would just avoid it.
right.
Whereas now I don't avoid it, thinking about it personally or figuring it out and then maybe setting the boundary actually with the person or the situation or whatever.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, I don't that's not true cuz I have some uh with like dad and
Yeah.
with Eric,
Mhm.
I have made some new boundaries there, but I have not discussed it with those people because I don't trust that I'll be able to communicate it effectively enough for them to understand it, which is the wrong way because really it's up to them to try and understand it. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I can trust them to understand what I'm trying to do or say.
Well, and sadly, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So your feelings are not incorrect
Yeah.
because somebody just doesn't and you learned how to ignore bad things naturally because you you know your dad did it all the time.
Yeah.
He faces nothing.
Mm-mm.
So, and he seems very happy. So I can only guess,
Yeah. Well,
I,
just like what we talked about, not setting those boundaries makes life a lot easier because then you don't have to confront anything. You just like,
right?
let things happen,
Yeah.
and so y- if dealing with it feels more painful, I'm sorry, if dealing with the situation and making it better for yourself feels more painful than just letting it happen anyway,
Hmm.
then you just let it happen anyway. It doesn't really make you happier,
Yeah.
it's just avoiding something, and you can't avoid it. You gotta,
Mm-mm.
again, that's putting your self-worth below everyone else's experiences.
Yeah. Right. That's your pound of flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that really hurts you. I mean, I always can tell when I've done it
Yeah.
afterwards, of
Yeah, you
course.
get real exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel it. Yeah.
You gotta pay attention to that feeling.
Well, the last 2 times that I experienced it, like, strong,
Mhm.
ever since I started therapy, when I do that, I mean, it almost makes me I'm, like, ill. I feel bad. I feel, yeah, tired, and I just don't feel good.
I mean, your body does tell you stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, mine is screaming it at me.
Yeah.
"Quit it."
But doesn't it feel so much better, when you are figuring that out? It's harder. Like, I think I've talked about it on this show. Life is so hard. It's so much harder,
Yeah.
but you feel so much better.
Yeah. I just wanna be happy. I'm happy. I really am
This is the
happy.
thing.
Yeah.
You can be happy. Everybody, nothing wrong with being happy,
Mhm.
but you can't just be happy.
No, and I'm
You
not
have to
supposed
let yourself feel all the things,
to. Mhm.
because if you don't, then feeling nothing, you know what I mean? Like, if you're
Yeah.
feeling only happy, then you're actually feeling nothing.
Well, yeah, I really perfected feeling nothing, you know?
Right, and that's why feeling something feels so painful.
Yeah, it sure does, and yeah, it I just feel so ill, but,
Well,
it's
not just that, but I mean, even, like, if you're annoyed with me, right? If you get mad at me for something,
Mhm.
then it's like it feels so intense
Yeah,
because you don't let yourself feel anything but okay with me.
and
And
I
that, not just with me, but just, like, in general.
and I can't tell you because I if I tell you something and then you cry over it, I'm going to be really sad.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, that
I
makes sense. You can be
yeah,
that makes I would feel like if I told Ellie something and she cried because I'm telling her that would make me sad, but it's
yeah,
okay.
right, and that's what I have to learn. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna always be able to tell you everything is perfect because it isn't perfect. But, I
Right.
just there's so many things I've left unsaid.
Well, you were taught by your mom that she will abandon you emotionally,
Yeah.
right? If you make her feel a certain way,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you
she
know?
she couldn't take it at all.
And yeah, and then that's sort of like filtered, not you didn't do that to me, but it
Mm-mm.
filtered its way through to me, to our
Mhm.
relationship.
Mhm.
And I'm sure I'm doing some shit to Ellie. I know that when we're in the pool
Mhm.
and like Pete or Ellie will like splash me or put some like spit water in my face or
Oh, I
something.
hate that.
Um, I'll be like, bye, and I'll like push them off and like go away from them. And like, oh, and
Yeah.
they come back and I think I don't feel good about that.
Well,
But sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm annoyed. Stop that.
from my own experience
Uh,
with the children in the pool, unless you do something drastic, they are not gonna stop doing it. So, I mean, they splash me, but now, like, they'll splash me in my face, and instead of being mad at them for doing it, I splash them back.
I know, but I don't want to splash. I've always hated splashing, even as a kid.
Well, Pete and Ellie will splash me and then they go underwater.
Oh, those
I
jerks.
know, they're little smarties.
Well, even okay, outside the water, even like reading or something,
Mhm.
if I continue to be interrupted, I'd be
Yeah.
like, "All right, I'm done." And they're like, "Oh my god, mom, no!" And I'm like, "No, I'm fucking done." And I'll turn off like, "Good night. I love it." And like still like nice, but probably like fake nice.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe not very cool of me to do that.
Is that passive aggressive?
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
really do I don't feel like I'm gonna teach you a lesson. It really
Yeah.
just feels like I'm fucking done.
But I also gotta say, I mean, sometimes, especially sometimes it's hard to get your kids moving,
Yeah.
you know? It's hard to
Yeah.
get that fire lit.
I know,
And
I have to count
so
to 3. I don't know what's gonna happen after I count neither do they.
no.
But it works for Pete. He, like, comes.
Yeah. But I think though, like, I'm trying to get oh my god, they have to watch one more thing on their iPad, and I'm
Oh,
begging
no,
them to
you
get
just
their
make them turn that off.
I'm trying to get them to get their shoes on, and so finally, I just say, "Okay, I'm going. If you're ready, you can come with me." And I just walk out, and that
Yeah.
seems to help a lot, you know?
Oh, I just get mad at them and say, like,
Yeah.
"Turn it off," you know?
Yeah, because
And then I'm like, "Why you gotta make me raise my voice like that?" I didn't have to get this pissed off.
yeah, but they push that button all the
I
way
know they
in,
do.
you know?
It's their job to annoy us.
Yes, and they are
Mhm.
testing us constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Oh my god.
That's something that Eric has said, like, I think that his son, Ian, was running around, it was, like, Christmas or something, it was being, like, an insane five-year-old or something,
Uh-huh.
and his father-in-law was like, "What's wrong with him?" You know? And Eric was like, "I don't know, he's 5,
Right.
just being 5,"
Yeah.
you know?
And Pete especially, you forget that he's only 5.
No.
Well, because he's the way he speaks to you, he just comes off way older than he
He was
is.
so funny. We were driving, uh, I took Travis to the mechanic or something, and then I was coming back with Pete. Oh, no, the other way around. I don't know. Anyway, I was just in the car with me and Pete, and he said, "Smoking's bad for your health." I was like, "Yeah, okay." You know? We talked about that for just a second, and then it was quiet, and he was like, "Not everything has butts." Okay.
So somehow smoking is really bad segued into the,
Not everything has butts. I'm
everything
like, "Cool. It's true. Yes." Right?
yeah, uh, who
I
was it?
just thought he's so funny.
Yesterday, Phoenix
Mhm.
tried to tell me that the smoke at the pool was
Oh, with
fog.
steam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she thought yeah, steam.
She said, fog at first, and then she's
Yeah.
like, "It's steam."
Yeah.
We're like, "Okay."
Yeah. And Pete just has a crazy wild imagination.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
Crazy wild.
But yeah, so my point is really is that, I'm gonna do shit to them too. But I
Yeah.
think the difference is, what I really appreciate in you is I was saying before that there have been times when I've been able to, like, say something to you and you've taken it and you've understood it or we've talked about it or whatever, and there have been other times where it's like you were not having it, and you felt like I was attacking you or something,
Yeah.
which is also fine, just how it is.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like I've always been able to talk to you about all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so that's been and then even the reason why we can have a relationship still is because you're able to, I don't know, hear me. Because just
Right.
like with dad, like I really don't feel connected with dad very much at
No.
all. And I don't know, maybe that will change in the future, but right now that's just how it is with me or
Yeah.
for me. Um, because I can't talk to him.
No.
He doesn't try to understand.
Mm-mm.
And, that's pretty frustrating. And it feels gaslighty. Like,
Yeah.
it's because I feel like, I'm reading minds and I'm projecting conversations that haven't happened, but it feels like if I brought something up about how I felt, it would be taken like, he wouldn't, take any ownership for any part of
No.
his responsibility, and then I I I would be sort of made to feel like I'm the one overreacting, but then he would in the end sort of apologize for it, but not in a way that feels like he really understood why he was apologizing.
How long did it take me to realize that I wasn't the one who was always wrong?
Yeah, because you were the nervous one.
Yeah.
And so it was easy for you to be like, "Oh, yeah, I am crazy." And plus your mom made you feel like you were
Yeah.
something was wrong with you.
I am telling you,
Your whole
I
family.
slept through life until I was 40. And something happened when I was 40. And all of a sudden, I saw things plainly.
Yeah.
And I was shocked at what I was experiencing. The things I didn't see before, the things I hadn't noticed before,
Mhm.
all of a sudden became crystal clear to me, you know? And it
Yeah.
was so late.
I feel
So,
like that was almost like you were asleep and you, like, jolted up out of bed,
yeah.
but then you, like, still laid down and kind of fell asleep.
Yeah. Well, because it was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a
It was a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
Yes. It was a
See, that's what I mean, like, I had way less to go through
Yeah.
than you did,
Yeah.
than you do or did.
Yeah. And I have done some good things for myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll do the same shit to Ellie or Pete,
Yeah.
and they'll have even less to sort of go through.
Yeah. And yeah. And then, if they feel like they can talk to you, and I
Mhm.
always wanted you to be able to talk to me. You know,
Yeah.
I did. It was something I always tried to, well, like when you were growing up, I would listen to your music just because I wanted to bridge that gap a little
Yeah.
bit, and you were, I mean, I never felt like you went through those horrible teenage years or anything like that. I don't recall you ever being like not liking us.
Yeah.
And if you did, we didn't know it, but
No.
you didn't act that way anyways.
I think I was, a little embarrassed by dad at some point growing
Yeah.
up, but I remember bringing you into my high school
Yeah.
and, like, walking around like, "It's my mom!" Like, I was excited. Yeah.
Yeah, but I liked it, and when people talk about how the traumas they've gone through with their little girls, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Not
See, that's
me."
the thing. I know you've brought up to me before, like, the relationship that you've seen other people have with their daughters,
Yeah.
and I think that's bullshit. Like, that's probably a ton of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know, or maybe
You know what I mean? Like, first of all, you're hearing it from, like, um, the mother in that situation, and she's not gonna be like, "Oh, my daughters hate my guts."
yeah. Though, if there was anything that I
Mhm.
could change about our relationship,
Yeah.
it would be to hang out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's not where you are right now,
Yeah.
so
It's not.
hurry up, get through it. Get I wanna go shopping. Yeah.
Oh. For what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately too, we have, some different interests as
Yeah.
well, which yeah, I guess, yeah, you don't wanna sit around all day and paint rocks, right?
No.
No, or do jigsaw puzzles, we could do jigsaw puzzles together.
Even then.
I know my whole summer consisted of painting rocks, jigsaw puzzles, and the kids.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was
That's
like the best summer ever.
there you go. I was
Yes.
gonna say, was that good? Is that good for you?
Yeah. Oh
Good.
my god. Oh, we might have, be having financial issues because it's more expensive here and all,
Mm,
but I will never, ever regret moving here,
yeah.
ever.
I know.
No, because the relationship that I've got with Pete and Ellie, oh my God, I
I
treasure
mean,
it
the
so
relationship with
much.
you and Ellie is, like,
Oh,
something else.
oh my God, I love that kid so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that beach vacation, anytime I need to like go back to a good place, I go back to that vacation.
Aw.
I felt like it was the first time in my entire life I lived in the moment.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. Oh, and
Apply that to the rest of your life.
I know I need to.
Yeah.
I need to. It was, I'm still feeling the good feeling right now, even just talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to do more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
want to get scuba diving lessons. You know what?
Whoa, cool.
When I am at the pool, all I want to
Oh,
do is swim under the water. Well, I told you, I
Yeah.
wanted to be a mermaid as a kid, and I still want to be a mermaid.
You live so close to the bay. Well, the bay's
Yes.
gross, but you live close to, at least what I mean is like where there would be scuba diving. You're not in
Yeah.
Arizona looking for scuba diving lessons.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna make that something I'm gonna look into
Yeah.
because I love being under the water. Just love it. I know. I was worried I was looking like a
Like a creep.
yeah, because I like watching the kids
Well, if you
jump
were a
into the
dude,
water. You know?
if you were a dude, that'd be different. You'd
Yeah.
be like, ugh.
But I mean, when when at the pool, if I can be underwater while kids are jumping in the pool, I just love that. I love the way it looks.
Okay.
I liked watching them swim from under the water.
Uh-huh.
Some of those kids would dive all the way down to the 12 feet, all the way down.
You know how you can free dive really deep?
Mm-mm.
And you know how like it hurts your ears and your head?
Yeah, you just have to pop your ears.
Yeah, you just pop your ears.
Yeah.
Just like you do when you go up
Mhm.
to the sky.
I found that out when I went snuba diving when we went on
Snuba?
it was called snuba because
Yeah.
you had tanks, but they
Oh,
were
you
on
would
a
snorkel too.
yeah, we were oh, I have snorkeled too, but I really like the snuba better.
Yeah.
Because the snuba, I was in the water breathing, but the tanks are on a float above you. And so you're tethered,
Right.
you know? Oh,
Right.
God. I loved that so much.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, look into it.
I got to be in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could breathe underwater. Maybe I was a fish in my past life.
Well, I'm looking up Capricorn. Water sign? Water or air? Oh, earth sign. My bad. Air. Oh, what? Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces that make Pisces are water signs.
Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Well, yeah. All right. Well, maybe.
That's not you.
That's not me. I'm a
That's
Capricorn.
not you.
I don't believe in that crap anyway, so except
Oh,
for
I like to believe in it.
oh, do you?
I mean, it's probably not real, but it's
Yeah.
so fun to like feel like it's real.
I do like that the fact that my sign and Ellie's sign are compatible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and your sign and Pete's sign are
Yeah.
compatible.
Greg is also an Aquarius.
Ah.
And I get along well with Cancers, and that's Travis.
And Pete is definitely warming up to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I know he loves me, but he's shy about, if I want to kiss him or hug him sometimes.
Yeah.
So now I don't. We shake hands now. He won't even offer me his right hand. He gives me his left hand. I got to.
I know he's a jerk.
He's 5. He's 5.
Well, we have to wrap up because I have to go get Ellie. You know, their school time changed. So
Oh, wow. It's 2
so
o'clock.
early. Yeah, it's 2:07.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this has been the most fun afternoon I've had in a long time. I've wanted to do this with you for so long. This is
I
so
know.
wonderful.
I'm sorry I shit on your bow ties.
You know what, though? You're not dampening my curiosity on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm standing strong on bow ties.
Okay.
Yeah. I still want
All
to know
right.
why. Why do you wear next time I see a guy in a bow tie, I'm going to ask him, why do you wear those stupid
Why do
bow
you wear
ties?
that boat? Don't say stupid.
You realize how stupid and geeky you look?
Yeah, you an idiot?
Oh.
Or did your parents just teach you that was cool?
I think, yeah, I want to know, was it from childhood or was it something that they chose to
It's
do?
just a style choice. It has to be.
Wow. I don't know. Who introduced them to a bow tie? Has Pete ever seen a bow tie?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, he's never going to wear a bow tie.
He might.
I bet not.
I mean, I wouldn't because I feel like it'd be super like cool to put him in a tie
Yeah.
instead of a bow tie because a bow tie is for like normal kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. Let us know what you think about the show, this episode.
Yeah.
Unless it's negative, don't tell us.
Yeah,
Go to Hop.
I hope we weren't too boring.
Aw,
Hashing our stuff.
that's such a fun. Like, I feel like every podcast I listen to that has a guest
Yeah.
will always say like, "Oh, was that boring?" Was that good?"
Yeah. I hope it wasn't.
You did it. You did the podcast thing.
Yes. And I've wanted to do this for so long. Thank you so much for letting me do it.
You're welcome.
I love you, girl.
Yeah, love you too. Go to hoffandpepper.com and use our code One Topic 15 for 15% off. for some hot sauce made in Chattanooga. And like and subscribe, rate and review. Tell us what you think. And I love you. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Autumn.
Bye.
Bye.